Morning everybody and welcome to today's IT tools training session. This morning we will talk you through the Projex-Online working area, which is available for all CEN TC secretaries. We are handling this topic this morning because probably you know that as of July 2018, all the decisions that can be submitted via the tool must be compulsory submitted via the tool. So my colleague Elisa is here this morning to explain you about it, but my name is Els, by the way. I'm project manager in the System Intelligence and Communication unit. I will be a webinar moderator. And just to remind you as well that you are muted today, but you can submit your questions via the question panel of the GoToWebinar panel. We will then handle your questions after the presentation as far as possible. The presentation will be uploaded on the CEN website. You will be informed about that also via mail. We are also recording this webinar, so you will have the possibility to listen again to the recorded webinar afterwards. So let me introduce you my colleague Elisa, who is the specialist in the topic in the Projex-Online working area. She will guide you through the application today. Elisa, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Els, and good morning, everybody. So this is the agenda of the presentation today. So I will start with a short introduction of the tool and the key decisions taken by the CENBT about the tool. Then I will briefly give you an overview of the types of decisions that are available via the tool. And some explanation about the way these decisions are processed, because you will see that there is two types of processing of a decision. Then some points about the benefits of the tool, and I will conclude with a demo and some information about any help that you could require. So let's start with the introduction. So what is the Projex-Online working area? So it's a web application that is protected by a password. And it's a tool that is to be used by TC secretaries to submit technical committee decisions, for the time being only related to projects. The access is via the Projex-Online application. So first you need to connect on Projex-Online, and then on the top right of the screen you should see, if you have access to it, a little button working area. So the users of the working area are the CEN TC secretary. So when a new secretary is nominated, you should systematically have been granted an access to the Projex-Online and the working area for the TC for which you are secretary. But also some supports can have access to the working area, but this is only upon request to projects@censenelec.eu. Please bear in mind if any subcommittees or working group secretaries are given access to the working area, the decisions are only submitted on behalf of the CEN TC, not the subcommittee. So some background information. The Projex-Online working area was launched in 2010. Only for 3 decisions related to the creation of work items. And then later, in 2010, the CENBT decided to make the use of the tool compulsory for the creation and activation of new work item. In January 2015, all types of decisions related to work items were made available on Projex-Online working area. And very recently, so from July 2018, the use of the working area will be mandatory for all the decisions that are available via the tool. So this is the full list of decisions that are available via the tool. I will not go to each of them because they are available in the tool itself. So if you go to the working area and you click on the section help, you will get exactly the same list that is displayed here. And you see that just next to each type of decision, you have between brackets automatic or semi-automatic. This is the type of processing of decision, and I would like to give you some explanation about the processing. So, as I said, either the decision is processed it's fully automatic. So it is the case for new work items, tolerance requests, confirmations, or semi-automatic, which is the case here for the deletion of work item, for example. So what does that mean practically? So for the fully automatic processing, at day one, as TC secretary, you submit a decision via the working area. So at the time you push on the button submit to CCMC, the decision will be automatically processed in the central database here in CCMC. And on the following day, so on day 2, you will see the impact on the database on Projex-Online. So if it's the creation of a new work item, it will be available in your CEN work program. If it is confirmation as well, you will see the dates that will be updated for the standard, etc. And also, you will receive an automatic notification with the confirmation that the decision has been processed. And in case if it's a new work item, you will also receive the new work item number. And in case of any issue during the automatic processing, you will also be informed. So this is for the automatic processing. Now for the semi-automatic processing. At day 1, as TC secretary, you submit a decision via the tool. Then 2 emails will be automatically sent. First to you, just to inform you that the decision has been transferred to the data service team. And also you will have the PDF decision form attached to this email. And a second email will be sent to the CCMC Digital Production Unit for manual processing. So within 2 weeks, the Digital Production Unit will process the decision, and these updates on the following day of the processing will be shown on Projex-Online. And the team also will send you an email confirmation saying that your decision has been processed. So regarding the benefits of the tool, so firstly, the business rules are enforced by the tool, meaning that you are guided between each step. Through each questions, you will be guided and to be sure that you enter any information that is necessary to create the work item, and to be sure that you don't make any mistake when you enter information. The decision for the tool itself is not only to be used at the time you need to submit a decision, but also to prepare it. So you enter all information via the tool, you generate a decision form that you can attach to your committee internal ballot, for example. And then when the ballot is closed and the decision is taken, you can come back to the decision and then submit it to CCMC. You have also the assurance that the decision is being treated, because in any case, you will receive an email on the next morning. And also a quicker response, because there are a lot of decisions that are fully automatic. And also you have the decision form that is available on Projex-Online in PDF format. If you go to the work item, if you go to the decision tab, you have the list of all decisions, And if you submit it via the working area, there is a hyperlink to open the decision form in PDF. So let's go on live now. So first I will connect on the working area. I will go into the test server to be sure that I don't make I can make anything that I have to do. So this is the homepage of Projex-Online, and since I have access to the working area, I have that little button here. I just click on it. And this is the homepage of the working area. So you see that you have first to select a technical body. So I have a big list because I'm the tester, but should have a shorter list normally. And then you have 3 sections in the home page. So you have first section for the creation of a new decision. Then you have a section for working on saved and decision that have not been submitted yet to CCMC. And then you have a section when you can find all decision that has been submitted for that specific TC. So first, let's create a decision. You first need to select a decision group because there is a lot of type of decisions. So we decided to split them into specific groups. So you have a group related to the creation of a work item, a group related to the launching of a procedure like inquiry for a vote or for the request of a tolerance. You have a group on modification, deletion of work item. So yeah, deletion of work item, modification of title, etc. Then another group on the maintenance and withdrawal of the deliverable, and then I will say a miscellaneous group for any other type of decision. So I would like to show you the creation of a work item because it's the most complex type of decision that you could have. So in the group creation of a work item, you see there are 5 types of decision: adoption of new work item, adoption of preliminary work item, activation of a preliminary work item, splitting of a work item, or merging several work items into one. So let's take the first one. So to start, this is the compulsory fields. Then here at this stage, you may add a decision reference if you have it already. But you can leave them blank at this stage. You don't need them to start it. You can put a date in the future if you want just to prepare a decision to be circulated via CIB. You can enter the end document of the document that is related to the proposal, etc. And then you click on Start. Here we go. We are in the page with all the sections that are necessary to create a new work item. So first, you need to choose the type of deliverable. If it is a EN, a CEN-TS, or a CEN-TR. So if you look into question 2, depending on the deliverable that I choose in question 1, you see that some options here are grayed out. So this is the way the tool guides you via each section. So let's take an EN. You can choose it is a brand new project, an amendment to an existing European standard, the revision of a standard, the conversion of a TS into a EN, the conversion of a ENV into a EN. Let's take, for example, the revision of a EN. You can add more links to if in case the project revises several European standards, you can click on add a new drop down which will just appear, and you can select a new another standard. Click on remove to remove the new drop down. Then third question, you need to give the purpose and the justification for this proposal. So the purpose is etc. Then you can go on the next section related to affected stakeholders category. So you need to specify if there is any stakeholder that will be affected by this new project. So we have a list of given stakeholder categories. You can choose one or several and give some explanation on how these stakeholders will benefit or be impacted by the proposed deliverable. Or if there is no impact at all, you just need to choose none of the above. And in this case, you see that question 5 has been grayed out. Then complete drafting body, title, and scope. Because I have chosen the revision of an European standard, you see that some questions have already been automatically filled in with the information from that revised European standard. So we have already the drafting body that was responsible for the previous edition, but if it's the same, it's okay. Otherwise, you can change it. The titles, again, if it's the same, okay, or you can modify the titles, and the scope, the same as well. So this happens when you choose the revision, but also when you choose to amend a standard. But in case of amendment, you cannot modify the titles and the scope because they have to be the same of the standard that is being amended. So it's not the title of the amendment that we need to register. It's really the title of the standard itself. And in case the amendment is developed to change the title of the model standard, this will have to be done just after the amendment is published. So it's not at this stage at all. Scope 9, you can add a project leader if there is someone, but this question is optional. And then you can move on question 4 related to accessibility issues. So in that question, you need to specify if accessibility aspects are relevant for this new work item or if they are not. And in any case, you need to explain why. Why accessibility aspects are relevant and which ones, or one they are not relevant at all. And then you can go to section 5 related to environmental issues. So again, here we have a list of environmental aspects. You can choose one or several, or if they are not, if an environmental aspect is not listed here, you can add any other. Or again, if there are no environmental aspect at all, you can choose none of the above. But please provide some explanation why environmental aspects do not apply to the current proposal. And then you need to inform how you plan to address this environmental aspect. So either by bringing it expertise to the working group, to contact the help desk for the environmental aspects. You have the address email here. Use an environmental checklist or any other plan. Then you can go on section 6 related to Vienna Agreement or link with any other external documents. So in question 13, you can specify if it's projects to be developed in parallel under Vienna Agreement procedure. You have only two options, no or expected CEN lead. In case of CEN lead, there is a little info button here. So in case of CEN lead, you need first to create an homegrown project and then to inform our data service team that this project is to be developed under parallel procedure with CEN lead. Why? It is because they first have to check with ISO if they agree to give the lead to CEN and if the project has already been created in their database. And if it's the case, the data service team will make manually the link into the database. Or if it's parallel but with ISO lead, you can click on yes, put some information about the ISO project. So the ISO project ID is quite important because it is the way that we link the CEN and the ISO project. This ID can be found on the projects tool in ISO that they have very recently deployed in their online. So please ask ISO in case you don't have access, and the ISO TC, for example. Okay, I will just remove to show you the next question. So if it's not a project for parallel procedure, so I insist on this question is only for parallel procedure. But in case the project is based on other documents, so for example, it's based on a ISO published document. So it's an identical or non-identical adoption of an ISO document. So you need to choose one of both options, and then again put some information about the ISO project reference, the year of the issue, and the ID. So this is for ISO, but in case of relation with a document from another organization, it is the same principle. So you need to check identical or non-identical, but here you need to put the name of the organization responsible for that document. And then you can go to section 7, which is related to any links with European research or innovation projects. So here you just need to specify if there is any link, no or yes. And if it's yes, you need to give the project code, the project acronym, and the project title of that research or innovation project. And then you can go to the section related to the track and the technical committee plan. So here there is not a lot of options, so you need to choose inquiry plus formal vote. There was more options before. And then you need to provide some target dates for these 3 key stages. So the dispatch of the first working draft, the dispatch of the inquiry draft, or the dispatch of the formal vote draft. Okay, for TS and TR, it's just the working draft and the voting draft. So because I have chosen an EN above, these fields are grayed out here. So here you have 3 possibilities. Either you enter the dates manually, or you choose it via the calendar, or you can ask the tool to calculate these target dates for you. So first, for that, you need to enter the project start date, so meaning the date that the work item will be created in the database. So the date that you press the button submit. So since I will do it today, let's put today's date. and then you click on calculate target dates, and you see that it has calculated the dates here for you. And then you can move on section 9. And again, because I have chosen the revision of the EN above, it has already pre-filled the standardization request and the directives or regulation that are linked to that previous edition. You can change it, you can remove it if it's not relevant anymore. You can add more. And for the directive regulation, you need to specify if it is for citation in the official journal. Again, you can add or remove more directives. And then question 20, you need to inform if there is any other relation with other legislation or established public policies. So yes or no. If it's yes, please specify which one. And then we have a question about intellectual property rights. So you need to specify if the proposed project is covered by any IPR, yes or no. And if it's yes, please provide the IPRs that are affected and any information about them. So from here, before going to further on CEN member commitment and decision result, I just want to show you the buttons that are at the bottom of the page. So at any moment, you can press on save and then come back to the decision later to complete it, to submit it, etc. And you have also button Word and PDF to generate the decision form. So let's first click on Save. Okay, the decision has been successfully saved. Then I can go on Exit. Oh, click yes. Okay. Then the decision that I have saved will be here. Work on saved and not submitted decisions. So here you have a list of all decisions that have been saved for that specific CEN TC. So you can export that list into Excel, and you see that you have some button here that allows you to manage these saved decisions. So the button modify, it's to go back to the page with all the questions so that you can either modify some information and save it again, or to go to the question and then submit it to CCMC. From here also you can generate the decision form in Word or in PDF. You can delete that saved decision if you don't need it anymore. And also you have a clone button, which permits the creation of a new decision with exactly the same data that you have put here. So it's this button is very interesting if you need to create several work items for a standard series, and for which the information is almost quite the same for all parts, and you just need to modify the part of the title. So let's go back into this, modify. Okay, so I have to go to each section again just to review all the information. I can modify it. Okay. The plan, it's okay, everything is filled in. Here I can add some information. Okay, and then in section 11, you have to put at least 5 CEN members that have committed to participate in the development of the project. And then you have to specify if the decision was taken by weight majority or simple majority, which is allowed in case of revision, but in case of brand new project, you will only have weighted and unweighted majority option that will be available. Okay, then you have a next section to preview all the data. Then you go to the last section. Here, the decision reference, the date are compulsory. The N number is not, but you can add it. And then you click on Submit to CCMC. Yeah, press confirm. And it's done. The decision has been successfully submitted. And yeah, lost the technical body, so I have to select it again. And the decision will be found in the section Access Previously Submitted Decision, which I know that yeah, I know that in Internet Explorer we have some time that we need to wait to find the decision. It is not the case in Chrome. We have to check why, but we haven't found yet. But just to show you the section here, so we have a list of all decisions that has been submitted via the working area. Again, you can export that list. You have some information about the status of the submission, the date that has been submitted. Again, you can click on Word or PDF to generate a form. And you can also, from here, you can click on Clone to create a new decision with exactly the same data. But please, if you click on Clone, just bear in mind that the decision will not be created here. It will be created here in Work on Saved and not Submitted Decision. So just to give you some information about the buttons here on the top right. So you can contact the data service team by clicking on Contact. So you can send them an email. We have also some frequently asked questions. So you can go here, maybe you will find already an answer to your question, how to activate a preliminary work item, how to create a new work item under CEN leads. This I have already explained. How to create a work item for the adoption of an ISO standard. What is the status of the work items resulting from a splitting or merging, difference of two types of decision regarding the extension of the OW, and yes, before we had the track options UAP or PQ and plus forward vote, but the BT decided to abandon these options. This is for the FAQ, and we have also the help. In the help, you have again the some contacts. So for any problem with the tool or for access, you can contact project@censelect.eu. Any question about data, it's data service at censelect.eu. You have also here a list of NSB sponsors. The user guide can be found here. So if you click here, you will have the PDF and the list of all TC decisions that are available via the tool. It's here as well. So this is for the creation of decision. Maybe I will just show you one more decision that is frequently used, which is the confirmation of published standards. So just to show you briefly what you can do with this type of decision. You see it's very shorter. So in this case, because we have some case that the TC secretary submit one decision per standard that he has to confirm, but please notice here that you can select any standard that you wish, and just to have one decision to confirm of this standard, and then go to the result of votes by unanimity or by simple majority, and the rest is the same. Okay. So let's go further. You'll see that it's almost the most complex are really the creation of the work items. Otherwise, the rest you will see that there are maximum 5 questions per decision. So let's go back to my PowerPoint and give you a little summary of what I've just showed. So to create a new decision, first you need to choose your TC, to choose a decision group, and to choose a decision type. At this stage, you can already add the decision reference, the date, the end document, but it's not compulsory. And then you click on Start. Then you fill in and you follow each question step by step. If there is a problem, you will see that error message will pop up. At any moment, you can decide to save your decision, which will be available in the section Work on Saved and Not Submitted Decisions, so the second section. And you can also decide to generate a decision form in Word or in PDF. So to submit your decision, you need to go to the very last section and click on the button Submit to CCMC. To manage your saved decisions, so you first need to select a decision. Select the TC, then select the decision. Then you have the button Modify to go back to the page with all the questions, and you have there the possibility to submit the decision. Or if you want, you can choose to generate a decision form in Word or in PDF. You can decide to delete the decision, or you can decide to clone the decision. And then you have a third section to manage your submitted decision. So again, you first need to select the TC to get all the decisions that have been submitted by for that TC. You can export the list into Excel. You have some information about the status of the decision, the date that it has been submitted. You can decide to generate a decision form in Word or in PDF, or to clone the decision, which will be created in the section above in Work on Saved and Not Submitted Decision. And on the top right, I give you some information about our FAQ section, and about also the help section, where you can find the user guide. And if you don't find any answer to your question, you can contact the data service team by clicking on the button Contact. So if you have any business related question, your CCMC contact point will be the best contact for you. But if you have any data related question, please contact our digital production unit at tseminaries@censenelec.eu. And for any functional or technical issue about the tool, please contact our IT team at project@censenelec.eu.